Good morning, everyone. What should be our daily routine with Ayurveda? Holly Padove is going to lead this discussion today. Holly is a massage therapist, yoga teacher, and a clinical Ayurveda specialist from California College of Ayurveda. Holly has been practicing Ayurveda and yoga for the last 20 plus years. I am Amita from Nourish Talk, a platform for natural and holistic therapies. I'd like to introduce all of you to Holly, who's joining us live from San Luis Obispo, California. Welcome and namaste, Holly.
Namaste, Amita. Good morning, everyone. I'm so happy to join you on this first day of the month, November 1st. And here in the US, we are experiencing daylight savings time. So I think it's a perfect day to go through a daily routine. It's a natural time to really amp up our self-care. And Amita did a great job introducing me. I was going to start with that, but I think she covered it all. And so I have been practicing Ayurveda since 2004. And I also have a private practice where I see people. But today we're going to take about 20 minutes or so just to go over the daily routines that can apply to everyone, regardless of your dosha. And you might not know what dosha means. So I'm going to just go over that really briefly so it makes more sense when we go over daily routines. So in Ayurveda, we recognize that there are 5 elements there. As you see on the diagram here, space, air, fire, water, and earth. And each of the doshas is comprised of these elements, as you can see below, vata, pitta, and kapha. Now, the doshas are manifested within each person. So each person has all 3 doshas, but one is usually more dominant. And not only are these doshas, which are made up of these elements within each of us, they're in the environment all around us. And even there's times a day. So I think the next slide goes into that a little bit more. So we have vata. Remember in the slide prior, vata is made up of air and ether. And I'm going to just go over more of the times of days. So vata is more dominant at 2 to 6 in the morning and 2 to 6 at night. And that means more of the air element is more dominant, for example. Pitta is more dominant, and that's more of the fire, and that's more dominant from 2 in the morning to 10 in the morning till 2 in the afternoon, and then 10 to 2. Just to give you a quick example of what that would mean, if that doesn't quite make sense to you yet. So Pitta is fire element. So we mirror the rhythms of nature as humans. So our fire, our digestive fire, for example, is highest at noon. If you look at the sky, when is the sun highest? Noon. So that is the fire element manifest in the middle of the day, and kind of it's within us as well at that time of day. And then kapha, time of day is 6 to 10 a.m. and 6 to 10 p.m. So we want to keep those doshas and the elements in balance with the time of day. So let's go on to the next slide. So we want to find a daily routine that helps to keep us in rhythm. Now, as humans, we follow the same rhythm as nature. It's called, and you may have heard of this because there's a lot of studies out there now about circadian rhythms. So in Ayurveda, one of the key ways to stay healthy is to have this consistent daily routine. It doesn't matter whether you're vata, pitta, or kapha. So you don't need to start wondering what dosha you are, because regardless of the dosha, daily routines bring everybody into balance, and it sets the tone for your day, helps you to get off in the right foot. Now I wanted to read you something. This is something I found on the internet years ago. It's like a little poem, and I think it describes it really well. So if you just give me a couple minutes, you can humor me, I'll read this to you. So the day starts the night before. An early night ensures deep, refreshing sleep. Deep, refreshing sleep ensures one wakes early, rested, and revitalized. Waking early, rested, and revitalized ensures time for a massage, for yoga, for meditation. Massage, yoga, and meditation ensure that the mind and the body are awake and alive. Mind and body fully awake and alive ensure a happy countenance. A happy countenance ensures a stress-free mind. A stress-free mind creates a positive mind. A stress-free positive mind imparts love and peace to those around. An atmosphere of love and peace creates a wave of harmony throughout the room. A wave of harmony throughout the room creates a wave of harmony throughout the house. A wave of harmony throughout the house creates a wave of harmony throughout the city. A wave of harmony throughout the city creates a wave of harmony throughout the country. A wave of harmony throughout the country creates a wave of harmony throughout the world. The peace and harmony of every individual in every town, in every city, in every country is in your power, and their happiness rests in your arms. If you are fully awake in the present moment, having learned from and let go of the past, the future will take care of itself. You simply need to bathe in the joy of being fully alive in every present waking moment. And the real beauty is you can start today. Wow. I mean, that, to me, that's anonymous author. I couldn't find who wrote it. That's really powerful, that how you live your day and how you set your routines and patterns can influence the whole world. And we need that right now. So this is really important. Okay, next slide. So let's start with routine. Let's start with the morning routine. So the morning is, if you get up by 6 a.m., remember 2 to 6 a.m., if you look at the slide up here, is the vata time of day, where more of the air element is dominant, which means the energy is lighter. So if you wake up by 6, you're going to feel a lot more awake than if you sleep until 8 a.m. So you wake up preferably before the sunrise or around the sunrise. So this morning, I don't know, here in the west coast of California, I think that was about 6 a.m. And I have to tell you, you feel so much better. It's hard, it might be hard to get out of bed, but if you do it, you are going to set a standard for a great day. But that means you need to go to bed at an early time. And we'll go over that in a moment. So you want to keep to a scheduled time, ideally 6-ish in the morning. And then you want to drink a cup of water when you get up. Drink a cup of warm or room temperature water. So a nice big glass of water with lemon in it. If you can use a copper cup, that's ideal. Those are easy to get. Or just even a regular glass. And that water just starts to get the kidneys going and wake up your body and rehydrate it after sleeping, for hopefully 8 hours, versus starting with a cup of coffee. You can have whatever your beverage of choice is later. Start with water. Easy thing to do, an easy way to start getting enough water for your day. Then you can go ahead and wash your face and maybe splash some cold water in your eyes, and then scrape your tongue. You might say, what is that? Well, I wish I had one with me. There's little tongue scrapers. You can even get them at the drugstores these days. And you want to use it and just scrape your tongue gently a few times. And you might get some coating off your tongue. And that is helping to increase or enhance your digestion and getting all the toxins that may have accumulated. So you want to scrape the tongue in the morning. And then, so brushing your teeth, of course, flossing, brushing. Ideally, you go to the bathroom in the morning or within an hour of waking. And you want to have a bowel movement in the morning, ideally. And maybe you don't do that now, but if you start following these rhythms, these patterns that are synchronized with nature and then you start to clean up your diet, your digestion will start to work better. Next slide. So other routines for the morning. So you've gotten up at 6, maybe that's an hour or so earlier than you normally get up. So, and it depends on your life. If you have kids, it may be harder to add a lot more activities to your mornings. It depends what stage of life you're in. But I even recommend to my clients that have children, just try and get up a little bit before them so you have some you time. So in addition to doing your water and scraping your tongue, etc., you want to have a routine that includes some time for self-reflection so you can gain some personal clarity and some a nice centered spot to start your day. So it could be all or one of the following. Perhaps you do, if you're a yogi or you like yoga or qigong, you do a little bit of yoga, or maybe you get up first thing and you take a walk, and then you can do some breathing exercises. And it can be as simple as just taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out. If you don't know what pranayama is, or you don't have a breath practice, just breathe in and breathe out a few times. Meditation. If you have a meditation practice, great. If you know how to meditate already. If you don't, there's a lot of apps. And I bet Amita has information on her site on meditation teachings. And maybe write in a journal if you have a propensity for writing, or just write down 10 daily gratitudes. So you start the morning in a way that helps you to feel centered and balanced. And another thing to do in the morning is to shower or bathe. And perhaps you want to do that before your inspiration routine. You have some flexibility here. And you can do some oil pulling. So maybe some of you are familiar with that. You would take about a teaspoon or so of herbalized oil, which you can get from any of the Ayurvedic companies, and I can recommend some for you later. And you just put it in your mouth and you just swish it around for about, I do it when I'm in the shower, or if I'm not showering in the morning, maybe when I'm doing something else. You just swish it around, and that actually helps to pull a lot of impurities out of your system. And you can also, so next slide, please. Do a massage. So it's called the Abhyanga. It's a self massage. So before you get in the shower, you're actually going to want to take some oil, some herbalized Ayurvedic oil, preferably, and you rub it all over your body. And you do long strokes and your long bones and little circles on your joints. And the massage, it nourishes and strengthens the body. It encourages regular sleep patterns. It stimulates your organs. It enhances circulation. If you have a lot of vata, meaning you get overwhelmed, easier, anxious, it helps to soothe you. So you would do this oil massage either in the morning during your morning routine, or you could also do it in the evening. I like to do it in the evening times before sleep. Now, if you don't have enough time to spend 10 minutes doing this nice oil massage, you could also do it while you're in the shower. So you've done your meditation, you've washed your face, had your water, done a little massage perhaps. Now it's time to eat breakfast. Now, ideally you eat breakfast within an hour or so of waking. And what Ayurveda says about meals is you eat enough breakfast to get you to lunch. Lunch is your largest meal of the day, and then dinner is more like a supper. We'll get into those meals in a moment. So you eat your breakfast, and then ideally, if you can have time to exercise in the morning. Our body does best when you exercise between 6 and 10 a.m. This is the kapha time of day. So we move from vata time up until 6. And now this is a kapha time, which is made up of the earth and water element, which are very heavy and they can pull you down. So if you sleep until the kapha time, that energy is going to pull you down and make you feel groggy all day. But if you're up and you're doing your morning practice and then you exercise as well, you're going to get your energy moving and circulating. So if you have time to exercise at this point, that would be great. If not, you can exercise around 4 or 6 p.m. and that's also a good time to exercise. Okay, and let's go to the next slide. So you had your morning routine and then perhaps you get your work in and then you have lunch. So as I said before, we're timing our daily routine with synchronizing them with the elements that are going to help to bring us most into balance. So the sun is highest at around noon. So you ideally want to have your lunch sometime between like 11 and 2, not any later than 2. And it's really hard for us in this culture to relax during lunch because many people just eat a quick yogurt in front of their computer. But that is not going to bring balance to your system. The best way to bring balance is to relax during lunch and to make it the largest meal of the day, or at least larger if you're just doing a quick snack or a quick power bar. So you don't want to give up lunch in order to exercise, say, to take a run. You want to really take that time to have lunch and to not have to snack. So if you're just hurriedly snacking during your lunch, you're going to be snacking all afternoon. So make this the largest meal of the day and then don't eat again, if possible, until dinner. So after you eat your lunch, if you have time, you could rest on your left side for about 5-10 minutes, and that is going to help you to digest your food better. And then you come into the afternoon routine between 2 and 6. And this is when the vata energy is more dominant again. So it's dominant 2 to 6 a.m., 2 to 6 p.m. And it's more about your mind. So if you can do any desk work that you need to do or any creative work, it's a good time for any mental and creative work. And a lot of people might experience a small drop in energy at that time. So maybe a short nap closer to around the 2 p.m. time, if that works into your schedule. I'm short, I mean like 10 or 15 minutes, not a long nap. And then the next slide. So then you have, so maybe you decided to exercise at 4 in the afternoon. So maybe you exercise. Now, I say supper instead of dinner because you want to have this meal be lighter and earlier. Since we follow the rhythms of nature, you think of it, it's getting dark. Now it's going to be getting dark like 5 o'clock. By 6 p.m., it's going to be dark tonight. So, and then when it gets dark, it's a signal to our body to slow down and start prepping to relax and unwind in preparation for a bedtime of around 10 p.m. So the lighter you eat and the earlier, the better. So trying, if you're going to be going to bed at 10, in bed, lights out, asleep, to be finished with dinner by 6:37. So that means having it on the table by around 6-ish, more or less. So it's really hard for our digestion to eat a big meal at like 8 o'clock at night. And it's going to affect your sleep. So lighter and earlier. And then before you go to bed, so then you have your evening routine, which is hopefully just light and easy activities, maybe reading, or maybe you're helping your kids with their homework. Maybe you watch a little TV, but if you do that, you want to make sure you don't watch anything that's overly stimulating or violent because you bring that into your night, and you want to turn the TV off and in fact all electronics off about 30 minutes to an hour, ideally an hour before bed, because the light in the TV and the lights and the computer will wake you up. So you want all the lights off and to be tucked in, ideally by 10 p.m. There's a little wiggle room depending on your dosha and how you sleep. And that is the evening routine. So that's a very quick recap of daily routines. And I am happy to answer any questions that anybody may have.
Sure. Any questions anyone has, you're welcome to put it in the chat window. You talked about the overall daily routine, and you talked about what type of food one should eat. Like, you didn't talk about that at all, in the sense like,
Well, yeah.
So do you want to elaborate on a type of food one should eat? Breakfast, lunch,
Yes, very happy to. Well, Ayurveda is all about eating whole, fresh food, not any processed food, not frozen food, because your food has prana or life force energy, and the fresher it is, the more your body's going to be able to absorb it. Now, here we are getting into fall pretty much everywhere in this continent anyway. And so the fall is considered the vata time of year. And the vata qualities are cold and light. And in Ayurveda, we say that opposite creates balance. So we want to eat foods that are more warm and heavier and oilier. So cold, light, and dry are the qualities of vata. So we want to have, for example, I had steel cut oats for breakfast this morning. So more warm foods versus cold cereal or something. So oatmeal for breakfast, and maybe something cooked and warm, maybe like a nice stir fry or a soup or stir fry or something like that, lentils for lunch, and then perhaps a soup for dinner, like a butternut squash soup. So you want to go for foods that are, in general, regardless of your dosha, a little bit warmer and more nourishing this time of year. You want to eat with the seasons as well.
Yeah.
So in other words, the best way to figure out how to eat with the season, many of us are lucky, even during this COVID time, I still have farmers markets going where I live. And if you go to the farmers market, it's going to be what grows locally, which is what is going to be most balancing for your body, what grows local and what's fresh. So shopping farmers markets, or just really investigating cooking more vegetables. And Ayurveda doesn't say that you need to be a vegetarian. Everybody is different. So I'm not going to tell you not to eat meat, but I'm going to tell you to eat more veggies and more complex carbs like lentils or peas versus simple carbs like a pasta or bread. And maybe if you're a meat eater, a little bit of meat, but not too much. Make sure it's organic.
Well, thank you so much. Any questions from people who are joined, in Zoom? You're welcome to put it in the chat window. And if you can't think of any questions right now, we've put our email and website. You're welcome to email us with any comments, any feedback about the session, or anything that you like to discuss about the daily routines with Ayurveda. We'll be bringing more sessions with Holly later next month.
I'm happy to.
Go ahead, please.
I'm just happy to answer any questions. You can get a hold of Amita directly, and then I'm sure she would forward your questions to me.
Absolutely. Okay, so thank you so much, Holly, for joining us in the morning. And I think the daily routine is so good. A lot of people didn't know about the tongue scraper. I remember as a small kid, we used to do that, but over the years, somehow the tongue scraping part just went out of the window. Okay, we have a question. Okay. All right. So is drinking
Yeah.
water before you scrape the tongue, is that what you recommend? That you drink water before the
Yeah,
tongue
that's
scrape?
okay. It can be before or after. I
Okay.
usually get my water first thing and then scrape my tongue as I go into my routines. So just as long as you scrape it in the morning, ideally before you even eat anything, but after water is fine.
Okay. Okay. Anything else from you? Any other follow-up comment or anything else? This is a very short session. We just wanted to introduce just the concept of a daily routine according to Ayurveda. So, okay. Any other comments before I wrap up? Okay. All right. So yeah, so I think we'll be bringing more sessions which are more detailed. This was meant to be a very simple, small session just to introduce the concept of daily routine, how Ayurveda views it, and why is it important. So this was the goal of this session. So if you like these sessions, please help us share and share with your friends and family. Thank you so much, Holly, for being with us. Any last comment from you before I wrap up?
My pleasure. No, I just happy fall, and just know that following these type of routines, we have a lot of chaos in the world right now. Following
Yeah.
these routines will help you to stay centered and balanced. Very important.
Thank you
My
so much.
final comment.
Thank you so much. I think that makes sense. Thank you so much for being with us, and yes, have the rest of the Sunday morning or afternoon. Have a great one. Thank you.